Three, two, one. You are on.
Hello and welcome to Joanne's Cosmic Energy Radio Show. How is everybody doing today? For those of you who are watching, listening, whatever way you're viewing in, I'm your host, Joanne Angel Barry Cologne, your certified holistic personal trainer, intuitive healer, cosmic energy reader, medical astrologer, master of numerology, and the creator of the Chakra Balance Numerology Cosmic Energy Forecast deck. And yes, that's the actual name of the deck. I know it's super long. Don't know what I was thinking when I created the title, but that's what it is. So share, like, and comment on our show for today. As you never know, I might be interested in giving a little raffle prize at the end of the show, but you do have to play in order to be in it. I'm also going to take an opportunity to share the show as well. So give me a moment to tap in and see how I can do. Just sharing. All righty, being right in there too. And then we're going to dive right into our conversation for today. Here we go. Sharing, make sure it doesn't echo. All right, come join us. Come join us. As I always say when I go live, I can never text and talk at the same time. And now I have living proof because now you're seeing me in action of not being able to do both at the same time. But yeah, there we go. It's been shared. Yes. So I shared and I'll comment too shortly. Anyway, I want to just give a shout out to two of my advertising sponsors that actually make my TV show and the show go live and do all of what it needs to do. And they are Dr. Robert Garcia. He is the Warrior Strategist. So if you are looking for an additional income, connect with him for his amazing services that he offers. He offers so many. One of them to mention off the top of my head is the Shift magazine. He has, I believe, 4 to 6 issues that come out a year, and you can advertise it, and you can, of course, write up an article or 2 or 3 or whatever have you. So go ahead and connect with Robert Garcia, Dr. Robert Garcia, Warrior Strategist. And then we also have CJ Ives. She is CJ Ives Lopez, that is. She is the podcast host and also publisher of the Author's Porch. And again, if you want to get on her show so you can share your books, please reach out to her. And if you have an article or 2 to write, reach out to her as well. So how is everybody doing? How is everybody doing? How is everybody being? I like to ask that question because, yeah, we're doing a lot of doing. But the question is, what are you being? How are you being? How are you serving? How are you serving in this world? How are you presenting? How are you showing up? Are you living in purpose? Now, I'm going to do something a little different than I usually do on the show. I brought with me today, let me see if I can grab it. Whoops. Now, I don't know if you can see it. It's very thin, but it's sage, similar to my sage stick, except this is really intense. And for this show, I don't need it to be so intense. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to light this. And see that flame? And now why I'm lighting it for is a couple of reasons. Oh, didn't even light. That's so funny. For a couple of reasons. To just get the energy flowing and also help you reactivate your energy. Now, sometimes when we have our energy feeling a little sluggish, tired, or a lot of energy going on in the world, such as there is today, staging is really a really good thing to be doing. So whether you want to sage yourself, what I just did, where I literally just went over my crown chakra, down into my third eye, down to my throat. And of course, if I was standing up, I hit the rest of the body too, but the intention was there. And just for the sake of not having to get up out of my chair, which I'm sure I could if I wanted to, but that's usually how you would do, just waving it around a circular or spiral position, just releasing out what does not serve your energy. And then setting the intentions to what you would like to attract in. Because again, when we just go about our day without being intentional, then we're opening ourselves up to attracting whatever there is to attract. And that could be real high vibration and low vibration energy. And with all that is going on in the world, you may be a magnet to low vibration energy if you are not really aligning your energy. So saging, or whether you want to use sage, if you want to use sandalwood, patchouli, whatever it is that you want to use that's going to activate and clear the energy out that does not serve you, I recommend that you do just that. I just want to fix this a little bit. There we go. So do just that. So you can attract in the energy you want to attract. And upon doing that saging, it helps you to set your intentions to what you would like your day to be and how you would like to be. And like I said, today's energy is really, really, I'm going to use a couple of words here. Magical, powerful, intensive, and could be a little overwhelming for some of us. Now, earlier today, I had did a live on my Facebook page talking about this energy that we're in and how, at least for the last 48 hours, many people that I've been speaking to have been complaining about physical body aches, pain showing up. And metaphysically, it makes a lot of sense because there is so much energy going on in the world right now. And collectively, there's a lot of people out there worried, fearful, doubtful, and any other negative word I can possibly pick up right now. And that creates a lot of resistance in our body. And when that happens, we tend to choose to feed our emotions. And when we are feeding our emotions, most of the time, the food we choose to feed the emotions are food that creates a lot of inflammation in our body. And theoretically, our body has inflammation in it to begin with. So we don't need anything extra to enhance the inflammation. So when we do have inflammation going on in the body, we're going to experience physical pain. And I'm one, I can raise my hand to this. I'm one that within the last 48 to 72 hours, I've experienced some physical pain in my body. Some of the pain was mine and some of it wasn't. And how do I know the difference? I asked my body, is what I'm holding on to mine? And I would go to each body part where I was feeling discomfort and ask it. And either I got a definite no, it wasn't. So I invited it to go. And what was mine, I took a minute or two to evaluate it and why it would show up so I can learn from that experience and then let it go. And why am I sharing this with you about this energy? It leads us right to the energy of today, to the conversation for today, where I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but anytime we have more than one planet in the same zodiac sign, that creates a lot of energy in our body, creating a lot of stiffness or resistance. It could also be creating a lot of excitement too. And sometimes excitement shows up as resistance because it's an overwhelmness of excitement. I know that there's been many times where I was extremely happy, thrilled to the bone, but yet I was still, my body was still in resistance because I was so excited that I get tense and we walk around like this. And we have to let ourselves go and free that energy. So I just want to share with you the 4 planets that are sitting in the same zodiac sign, which is Libra. Now, by now, I'm hoping that you know that we are in Libra season. And when we're in Libra season, that means the sun itself is in Libra season. And the other 3 planets that are in Libra season are Mercury, which is our planet of communication. Now, let me just back up a minute and talk about the sun's energy. The sun's energy is associated with the physical and spiritual realm. So us as physical beings, but also us as spiritual beings. So that balance between the two. And when we think about Libra season, Libra is about balance. See how it sort of connects? So we have Mercury, which is all about communication. How can we balance that communication between communicating and then listening? Balancing the two and thinking about that. And then after the sun and Mercury, then we also have the moon. And happy new moon to everybody. Today is a new moon's energy. Now, if you know nothing about the moon's energy, know that today's energy over the next 28 days gives us an opportunity to really activate something new in our lives. Bringing balance in, because after all, Libra seasons, the theme is about balance. So bringing that energy in. So now we have the moon, we have Mars, and we also have the sun. Now the moon is also associated with how we feel. And in a minute, I'm going to connect these specific planets to chakras. So I want you to pay attention. And then the next planet that we have in Libra season is also Mars. Mars is our planet of action, aggression, and maybe even anger for that matter. It's the warrior planet. So let's take these 4 planets that we got going on here. The sun is the physical and spiritual realm. The Mercury is all about communicating. The moon is all about how we feel. And then Mars is about, let's make action happen. That's a lot of things going on right now that our psyche is trying to bring to alignment. Now, as I said, I want to bring this into your attention to connecting it with our chakras. And this is what I'm going to leave you off with, guys. So pay attention to this before we take a quick commercial break. Pay attention. So when we think about the Mars energy, Mars is associated with root chakra. And when we think about the root chakra, it's about getting grounded. It's about being planted. It's about being focused. So we can take the action that we need to take to bring that balance into our lives wherever we need balance. Then we have the sun energy is associated with the solar plexus, where it's trusting our intuition, trusting that wherever we need balance, and we're open to connecting with our higher self is going to guide us to where we need that balance in our lives. So using your solar plex, using your gut intuition to guide you. And remember, you've already grounded your energy, so then you can go into your gut intuition because they work hand in hand. The next one is the moon, which is all about the heart chakra, the moon. So we have root chakra, which is Mars. We have solar plex, which is sun. And then we have the heart, which is the moon energy. How are we feeling? How are we feeling? And that's a deep question. And not everybody connects with their feelings. Some of us sort of shrug off how we're feeling. We just sort of go about our day. But today I want you to connect. I want you to connect your mind and your heart together. Bring it together and really get in touch with how you are feeling today. How are you actually feeling? How are you feeling about everything going on around you? And how are you feeling so you can start being? And then the next one, when we talk about our planets and chakras association, throat chakra, which is Mercury. Mercury. What do we want to communicate? How do we want to express ourselves? How can we have that balance between speaking, expressing, and listening? So here you have at a 7, and I speak of 7 chakras, although there's 114 within our entire aura. I speak of 7 of them. And out of those 7, 4 of them are being extremely activated based on the 4 planets that are in Libra season, which is some intense energy. And then we ask ourselves, why are we feeling pain? Why are we feeling stiff? Why are we feeling resistance? Because there's a lot of energy going on in our body. Now, what can we do with this? Well, the first thing I did, and I showed you, was to sage your energy. Get your energy to move. The other one would be behind me, as you all can see, it's a gym. Well, in this case, personal training facility. Move your body. Start lifting, moving your arms, sitting and standing out of a chair to work on squatting, which literally activates your root chakra. I mean, squat. How many times a day do you sit and stand out of a chair? How many times a day are you running to the bathroom and peeing? You know, for the women. For the men, you know, the other stuff to be doing. But that's activating your root chakra. So if you were to just be in your chair that you're at working, for example, let's say you're watching this while you're at work and you're sitting at your desk, just allow yourself, move your chair back from your desk, place your feet shoulder width apart and stand. Then sit, then stand and sit. And do that about 10 times. You literally just activated your root chakra. Oh my God, which means you got connected to Mars energy and you got connected to you, which helps you to focus. That's a win-win. That's a win-win. So as we move our body and we connect to the root chakra, we can do other activities with our body to connect with all of our chakras. But that's the one I'm going to focus on just for today, just to get you grounded. Because I truly believe that if you are going to focus in on any chakras at any given day at any given time in your day, the root chakra is extremely important, because the root chakra is going to literally help you stay focused, grounded, balance, which is the key word here, because again, associated with Libra season. Balance, staying balanced, which helps you to be in your root energy. And that helps you to make really quick decisions. Making decisions, quick. There's no indecisiveness. And when you get grounded, it's almost like this loop that just flows right up to your down. That helps you to connect with who you are on a higher level and connecting you to your higher self, which then allows you to make really good decisions, because now you're going to connect to your higher self and say, hey, higher self, does this serve me to do X, Y, and Z? And then you pay attention, because now you're connected, you're attuned into your own energy, and higher self is going to respond. Now, depending on how you connect with higher self, that could be maybe higher self is going to give you a little nudge, and you know, okay, that was a yes, or yank on your hair, and that might be a no. But either way, the answer is going to be very precise. It's not going to be a maybe. It's not like you're going to have to go looking for some zigzag in the sky somewhere. It's going to be very precise when you get attuned, which you're getting grounded and connecting to your higher self for the answers you're looking for. And when we understand this whole process of how the planets, our zodiac sign, our chakras are all connected to us, it really helps us to navigate through each and every day and get a very good understanding to what it is you're actually supposed to be doing. And I think that's a powerful way of going about things. This way here, you're never in a mystery land. You're never without an answer. I love when people say, I didn't have a choice. Love that answer. I love when people say that. And if you understand me, I'm being really sarcastic, because we always have a choice. And when we can connect and get grounded and connect with our higher self, we can get the answer that we need to get. That's going to serve our higher purpose. That's going to serve the higher purpose. Now, understanding that when we work with our higher self, it's serving our higher purpose. That does not mean that what it is that we think we're supposed to walk away from, that we are walking away from it. Because if it serves your higher purpose, sometimes you have to stay in the situation to learn the lesson which serves your higher purpose. And I know that might sound really ridiculous, but that's just the way it is. So anyway, just to regroup before we take that commercial break, 4 planets that are sitting in the same zodiac sign, which is Libra season. We have Mars, we have the Sun, we have Mercury, and we also have the moon energy, new moon. And let me just throw something out there, because I'm sure as we come back from commercial break, my guests and I are going to be tapping into this with full-hearted excitement. Pluto has gone direct today. Yay! And if you have no freaking idea what the hell I'm talking about, hang in there with me, because when I come back from commercial break, that's what we're going to be diving into. So go ahead, get that quick glass of water, and I'll be right back.
Hey guys, welcome. We are back on the Author Sports. I am so excited to be here with my co-host Anastasia. How you doing, girl?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I am good. It's so good to see you again. We don't get to see each other very often. We might have to do this every week, you know? Tonight we are also talking with, we've got
Hey everybody, Rob the Warrior Strategist coming at you from San Diego, California. And if you want help developing your own income streams and entrepreneurial systems, feel free to reach out to me at dragonsgold76@gmail.com. Thanks.
Hello and welcome back. For all of you who are just joining in, I'm your host, Joanne Angel Barry Cologne. I have my amazing guest here. I'm going to try to say her name. Kitty, I don't know how to say her last name. Who am I kidding? I'm not going to try. I'm not going to screw that up. I'm going to let her introduce herself in just a second, because I do want to, again, remind you that if you did miss the first portion of the show, remember you can catch us on, let's see, all the famous platforms, iTunes, Spotify, Audible, iHeart. I can go on and go on and go on. And I don't think I'm on Roku, but anyway, Anyhow, you can catch us everywhere if you've missed the first portion of today's show, or if you missed any of the shows that take place the first Wednesday of the month, because that's when I'm on, the first Wednesday of the month. Anyway, so Kitty, how do you say your full name, please?
Kitty Buttigieg Foss, but Kitty
There you
Foss.
go.
Yeah.
And even she was pausing there. So imagine if I would have tried. So Kitty, let our viewers know what exactly is it that you do?
Well, I'm an owner of something called Intuition of the Soul, which is a platform that brings different speakers on. And my specialty, my special sauce is I am a storytelling astrologer. And many times people talk about astrology and it seems like it's very rigid, and that's not what I do. I actually tell you your story. And of course, free will is everything. But it's to give you an idea of how to be a hero in your own life, what you came in with to have conversations, because your planets are constantly having conversations. And today they're having huge conversations.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Yeah. I mean, two of the biggest players in your life, the sun and the moon, are hanging out together. So that, that already is enough. And then Pluto, that planet of amazing transformation, is coming direct after having a whole lot of conversations with that Mercury in Libra. So I'm here to kind of tell the story, and I help you look at what's going on, what you came in to do, and kind of what the basics are. So I call myself a storytelling astrologer.
Yes. And from my experience, and I have experience with this, a couple of weeks ago, I think what was it, a week ago? Has it been that long? Well, I think it was a week ago.
A little bit more than a week, but yeah.
I had an experience with Kitty where she actually read my chart to me. And I've had my chart read to me a handful of times by one of my other amazing astrologers. And how he reads it and how she reads it, very different, but they're both just as good. But Kitty gives a story, as she just said. She gives a story behind it. It's not just going through this way and going through that way. And at the end of it, like, huh? It was like, she gave me insight on things. A, she confirmed a lot of things for me. And B, she actually was talking to me about something that I was actually literally in the midst of working on, and blew my mind when she talked about it. I was like, oh God, how do you know that? But then I always say that, and then I laugh at myself because I'm like, of course she knows that. She's reading my damn charts. And that's the beauty of astrology. So if you've never had an astrology reading before, I highly recommend it. And if anything, I'm going to recommend it that you do it with Kitty, because she gives that story line to it as well. So well, Kitty,
I'm going to give credit where credit's due. Not only do I read your chart, but honestly, I got guides in there telling me stuff constantly. And that's why I record them, because honestly, you'll say, what did you say? And I'll go, I don't know. So
yeah. I find that to be really funny too, because when I do readings, I always say to the client that I'm reading for, if you have any questions at the end of the reading, please ask them. Do not wait till like the next day or something to ask me, well, what did you say in the reading? Because my answer is going to be like, I have no freaking idea. And unless it's been recorded, I don't, because like Kitty, and I think like any person who does any type of readings, we get this intuitive information from all of the guides that work with us. Because Lord knows we're not doing this by ourselves. Thank goodness we're not. Could you imagine having to do this all by yourself, Kitty, where you'd have to
no. Thank you to the keeper of the stars. Thank you. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So Kitty, I mean, I know what's going on in the world right now. I mean, you mentioned a little bit about, Pluto going direct. I mentioned it too. So let's talk about this Pluto going direct and what does that mean for everybody?
Well, what's the day today, a new moon all by itself is already a big day, because it's always about the sun and the moon having a big conversation. And of course, your moon's your private energy that you use. It's got the ancestral link, and your sun is your center. It's who yourself is. So it's always a big day. But we've had all of these planets in retrograde. And what retrograde means, I know people go, oh, Mercury retrograde, really just means planets move counterclockwise. When they go retrograde, it means they're moving like the rest of it. So it becomes an internal work. And we've had these planets, and these are bigger energy planets. They're not all the personal ones. That the closer you are to the sun, the more it's about internal work anyway. But these are the Plutos and the things that are out there, big energies, have been having this conversation. And that's what energies do. They talk, they make plans, they help change things. And interestingly enough, Mercury decides to hop back in retrograde to talk to all of them before they come back out this month. So in the last couple days, you have seen some real chaotic energy because Mercury's about change, and it's having its last conversations here with Pluto, who's coming out in Capricorn, and it's change of structures. And on my site, we do what's called a vibe of the week. And basically what we said to people is stay out of it this week. There's a lot of noise going on, and you've got your own personal noise. And then there's been a lot of noise, and how funny that Facebook shut down,
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, Spirit has a great sense of humor. Well, here, let me help you with some of the noise. Bam.
Exactly.
We're shut down. And so there's been this collective noise going on. And this week really is a great week to kind of pay attention to your own noise. And like you said, it may appear in your body. It may appear in your energy level. It may appear in, like, it seems your whole household is half a bubble off plumb. It's kind of how you're put together and your energies. And if you can kind of stay into the awareness of yourself and see what the energy, where those pains in your body, what they're telling you, that's for your information. And really this collective noise is settling itself. It will be settling itself. It's just a noisy week,
Yes. And then we do wonder, like I've been asking myself, I'm like, oh my God, all this physical pain that's showing up. It's like, why? And even for myself, when I sit back and say, well, why? Why the hell are you asking why for? I mean, you got all this energy that is literally bubbling, boiling, literally. It's like boiling energy. And we as humans take it into our bodies.
Well, and it's in the ethereal realm too, because it's Libra and air. And so
Yes.
when anything's air, and it's not only about balance, but it's about justice. And that's what we're starting to hear. The Pandora Papers, these things are showing up about justice, truth. And so your ego tends to be in the way a little bit here because we're dealing with this air energy, this knowing and being spurred on. And where do you store it in your body? It's a great time to say, where is this showing up for me? Is it feeling in my, is it in my shoulders? Is it what I'm eating? Is it my solar plexus? Is it, I loved what you had to say because it is all of those, and it is about grounding because frankly, the bubble that's around your head right now, your speech bubble, and realize that communication is mainly nonverbal. So what you're taking in. So
Yes.
be aware. This is a step back week. See if you can become that observer and what is it
Exactly.
doing? What's it telling me? So it wants you to
Exactly.
balance, and it wants justice,
Yes.
And then you got Pluto coming roaring out in the sign of change in Capricorn. It wants to change big structures. And remember, Pluto is always about the dark, our dark shadow work. So of course it's going to show up in your body. Where do you carry your shadow?
Exactly. Like for me, especially, I would say last week, my intention were to do some working on that project that you and I chatted about that you picked up in my chart. My intention was to do some work with that this week. I had it all planned out on Sunday, written it out on paper, said, okay, this is what my plan is for this week. It is now Wednesday, and I have done none of it because all I actually been able to do when I finish work at the end of my night. Now, for those who know me, I'm a night owl. I stay up until like 2 a.m. This week did not happen. I was literally couldn't wait to get into the bed and lay down next to my selenite crystal to help relieve the discomfort that was in my body. I literally was in bed by 11 o'clock. Now, anybody who know me, they would be trying to take my temperature to say, are you feeling okay? I was feeling great, but my body was like, There was no more work. Once I finished with clients specifically, any mental work that I needed to do, I couldn't. I literally had to lay down and just allow my body to say, okay, this is crazy. And recognizing that what I was feeling in my body, some of it was my stuff. And then some of it was the collective energy. And
Well,
for me, go ahead.
You have
Go ahead.
you have so much earth in your chart and physical in your chart. Of course, I had the same kind of thing, but I am a stellium in water and in Scorpio. Mine is emotional and change. And so I've been like, you know, kind of ducking my head. And yeah, so it really
The
does help
weaving.
to know. Yeah, like, you know.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and again, just for our audience, our viewers, letting them know too that we're all feeling this. I don't think there's a person out there that's not feeling it, and maybe they don't realize they're feeling it. Maybe they're so busy being busy that they're not paying attention to what their body is showing up, which could actually be a really good thing, because I think for right now, if I could be that busy where I'm not attuned to my body and not feeling some of what I'm feeling in my body, I might be a little happier to some degree.
And honestly, that was why we said to people, stay out of it today. This is a, you know, I think it's, like I said, it was cracked me up. I didn't know Facebook went down because I was already unplugging, because I knew that this was going to be like this. And sure enough, when somebody said, I'm like, well, good, the universe decided to unplug a lot of us to de-escalate
Yes.
a lot of this change coming. So, you know, it's really, really important for me to know what my energies are and what the energies are out there. And this is a unbelievably busy month, folks. This is not the first rodeo that you're going to be going around, you know, and everything is doubled. Saturn goes direct on the 1010 portal, and Jupiter and Mercury come direct on the 18th. And then we have the full moon.
Yes. So I'm going to back you up just for a second, because what caught my attention, and we're going to talk about it all, and we only have an hour, but that's okay. Let's talk about, just for a little minute, the 1010 portal. What exactly is that for our folks to know about?
You know, any month has a portal. 88, 99, 1010. Some are more well known, like the 88 is called Lion's Gate. And so anyway, what we're doing is, and 1010, so 10, my numerology specialist, is really 1 and is beginnings. Okay. And next month, 1111 is a well-known portal for more kind of cosmic master number kind of thing. And so the 1010 portal is about beginnings. No accident here. Here comes Saturn in Aquarius, the humanitarian, the collective, looking at structures. What new beginning structures are happening for this bigger world? And Saturn is the bridge planet from the internal to the external. That's why it's structure. And so, you know, that's important, because whatever this new beginning of structures are, we're already starting to see the change with Pluto coming. And today is the day to set your new intentions for the next month. What are you going to work on? How are you going to break it down to say to the moon, what am I looking for? Balance and justice, because that's what today is. It is that new moon intention setting. And if you do work with manifestation, that's an important date. But yet you've got this change vibration coming out, this shadow work. And now I've got the structure coming out in the collective on a day that's about new beginnings.
Yes. I tell you, and when you tie that in, when you think about that 1010, you know, because this is what I do as well with numerology, you tie the astrology into the numerology energy. That 1010, you have 2 1s and you got 2 0s. And when we think about the 2 1s, the 2 is about that partnership that we have with everything that Kitty just said. The partnerships we have in finding the balance and the justice in our partnerships, professionally or personally. And then the 0s represent the potential and the choices. And I want to use that word, choices, because we always have a choice. We always have a choice. We are never in that space where, well, I didn't have a choice. You always have a choice. Not making a choice, not making a decision is a choice not to make a decision. And that's a choice in itself. And when we think of, go ahead.
And that becomes responsibility. Any choice you make has responsibility. It just does. Even a non-choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And we spoke about Saturn's energy, about structure, and how that's going to, within a matter on 1010, that's going to go direct as well. Then we have on October 18th, Mercury and Jupiter going direct. And when is the full moon? That's on the 20th, correct?
On the 20th, right. And and that's an interesting full moon, not to have people's heads spinning, but because it's in Taurus, but it very quickly changes void of course. And so that's always an interesting kind of energy combination. But, it's interesting. Let's go back to just Saturn for a minute. You're talking about 2 and balance and Libra. We still got Libra still sitting here looking for justice, looking for balance, all of these things. And I've set my intentions now on the 6th about balance and justice in my life. And who does Libra in charge of? Venus, relationships.
We can't make this up, can we?
No.
And then we sit back. Now, I don't know about you when you're working with your clients, but I know on my end, most of the time, the average person is looking to either get in a relationship, improve their relationship, or find a job that serves their purpose, their career. Because when we think about relationships, our career is a part of that as well. And when you think about Venus is about relationships, love, and money. So it makes a lot of sense that right now there's so many people out there who are in question to what their purpose is, or in question to where is their soulmate? Who is my soulmate? Or who am I? And I think that should actually come before we start asking about who the soulmate is.
That's the big one. When we talk about Venus, people go to other relationships, but this is relationship with self, especially if your Venus happens to be retrograde. And let's just add one more layer. This Libra energy is on the house of contracts. And what do you have the first contract with? Yourself and relationship. So, why am I here? Now, on that 1010 portal, we're talking about Saturn. Saturn is ruled by Capricorn, rules the house of career. So you've got these layers that are all talking to each other, and they've been talking to each other inside with a plan. And now they're taking their power back and heading counterclockwise. So if you're watching, I might be saying counterclockwise to me, but it might be looking clockwise to you. And that's important. It's your paradigm.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's the same concept that when we sit here talking about as those who are sitting there looking for that relationship, and unless they're willing to do this work, as we're talking about right now, going within and trying to figure out who they are going to continue to attract the people that are going to mirror, or the person that's going to mirror the things about themselves that need the healing, that needs the work. Until you do the work, will you attract the person that's actually going to match your higher self? And that could very well be the person you're doing the work with, because that person's helping you to get there by all the triggers that we experience. Now, I know for many, many people get really annoyed when they get triggered. They're like, they're triggering me. I look at it as like, when someone triggers me, I'm a happy person, because that means I'm going to learn something about myself. And I'm also going to recognize that, hey, maybe this person needs to work on that too, because it's a trigger for both. And when we can get into that energy and recognizing that we have to do the internal work in order to literally be aligned to the soulmate, which is why they're called the soulmate, correct?
Yes. Because your soul has a job here. So knowing what your soul purpose is so important. And until you're truly your authentic self, how do you know how to be in a relationship? Now, somebody may help you get there and you stay in the relationship, but somebody may just be catapulting you into it also. So but the most authentic relationship you have is with yourself. So it's a big awakening kind of time that is happening, especially this month. We're not kidding, folks. This is a weird, wild energy month, A lot of self-care important here. Take a break, step back, be the observer of your own life. You are not your emotions. You are not your thoughts. What am I in this moment? So, It's
And what do you hear? What do you hear? How are you here to serve? And I think that's an important part too. It's like, are you serving or are you just working? Because if we're just working, but we're not doing anything that's serving in the work that we do, what are we really doing?
right.
And this is the number one reason why an astrology report is really important, because this is really going to help you understand where you are and what you need to do. Now, I kid you not when I say this, guys, that I get an astrology forecast. I say every week. I reach out to one of my astrologers, I reach out to Kitty, and I'm like, all right, so what's going on? What can I do right now? And what should I lie back on for now? Because it's just not going to serve me. And I work through this. And this is how I move through what I do in my day and weeks and months. Otherwise, if I didn't have this forecast, it's like not listening to the weather forecast. Like, I don't listen to the weather forecast. I rely on my astrology. To me, it's like, that's so much more important than the actual weather, because with weather, you can look out your window and know, okay, well, it looks like it's going to be raining today, so I'll prepare for that. But reality is, unless you really understand what's going on in the cosmic world, you really do need to have a forecast to know for this week, this month, what am I supposed to be doing? What am I supposed to be being? And that's where Kitty really comes into play and tells you this amazing, fun story.
It's just your story. How am I going to be a hero in my own life? What do I know about how I am? What do I know about what I really want to work with to be my authentic self? And of course, free will is always a big player here, folks, but you kind of already, people are surprised, but they're not. Joanne said that to me. It's stuff I know, but it's reassuring to hear it. And then to get a different perspective on maybe how they're playing with each other, and they do play with each other. These energies are playing with each other, because you got your basic, you got your picture on top of it, and then you got what's going on up here. And it's a circuit. They all are talking to each other, and source is feeding into them. And it's really about to give you an insight. It's not predictive. It's not, but it helps. For me, especially, of course, I am Saturn in Capricorn and Jupiter in Capricorn, which is I need a structure to look at it. Otherwise, I could be really quite up here and not be grounded enough. It helps me ground, and everybody has a different need. So,
exactly.
Exactly. And it's a busy month. I keep coming back to that, because now after we kind of get through Saturn coming forth, then we get Jupiter, the planet of expansion and learning, coming right out with Mercury at the same time to tell you something. And then the moon comes right after, and then we go into Scorpio. That whole, and Jupiter's also going to be in, so Libra, Mercury will be coming out in Libra, looking for that balance. That is a theme all the way through everything that's coming direct. Balance and justice. That's why collectively there's a lot of noise going on, because the vibration might be there, but without the awareness, it's a little chaotic.
Yes. And even with the awareness, even with the awareness, it's like, really, you sit back and like, what the hell is going on? Like, what? Like, yes. Yeah. And I mean, I like to be in the know. I like to sort of plan it out and figure things out, because that's just how I work. And even there are days where I get tripped up. I'm like, what? I have to go back and look, at the charts and say, okay, so what exactly going on today that I'm feeling what I'm feeling? And I always come back into the question on, okay, is what I'm feeling my feelings? Or have I picked up something from a client that I worked with, whether it's on site or virtually? Did I pick up something from them? Because I often do that a lot. It's like I'll pick up their energy. I'm like, okay, I know it's not mine, so I'm going to take it off now. And I'm not going to give it back to them because they don't need it. I'm just going to let it go. And I think that's important too.
Oh, it's very important. And part of what I'm even learning now more and more is how an energy that helps me let it go. When I look at my will, am I getting involved in other people's business and therefore I'm not letting it go? Or am I okay, this is kind of sending me out here. So what can I do to let this go? Is it mine? And if it is, or what is mine to keep, to transmute, to transform, and what can I just now let go?
Exactly. And I think that when we think about the word letting go, I mean, that rises right into Pluto's energy as well, which is all about that transitioning, transmuting out, but also getting to that understanding that if you are holding on to someone else's stuff, someone else's whatever luggage, whatever, recognizing that you yourself cannot do anything for that person by you worrying about their stuff. So it's all this energy you're bringing into your own body because you're worried about someone else's stuff. You have to let it go. Otherwise, it's going to cause you to have discomfort in your own body and not allow you to focus on what you need to be doing during this amazing energy, this wild ride we're on.
Well, and especially today, if you're sitting there going, WTF, just also know that Pluto is about change and transformation. And what's the first thing we do when change hits us in the face? A lot of us is our fears arise. And this is the shadow work. This is the house, the 8th house, the house of taboo, occult, all of those. Scorpio, you don't swim in the swamp. It's always teeming, always changing. And so this is why stepping back and looking, what's my noise? What's the collective noise? Perfect example, Joanne. And then going, I've got some fears here that I can, let go and say, they're just fears. They don't have to immobilize me,
Exactly. Now, or as I like to say, you have a fear that is showing up, use it. Use it as your reason to do something for you. You can't do anything for that other person. Only thing you could do for that other person, which what I like to say is just send that other person some healing light. Let them know that you're there to support them, but no need to sit and try to figure out a solution for them because it's not your job to do that.
I have a friend, name is Chrissy Newton, and she talks about that's a good time to send it to their higher self. And when they're ready to get it, you want to help them, but I can't do it for them. I send it to their higher self, and when they're ready to get it, they'll be able to access it. And so you don't feel like you just walked away, but you do feel like, okay, I'm just sending this to a higher version of you, and eventually you'll be able to tap into that. So that's always helped me. But fear is a hard one. It gets hypnotic and it gets, so what can I do to step back from it and go, it's just a fear. Now I can take an action,
Exactly. Yeah, and our fears sit right at the root, which is associated with Mars. One of those planets that's one of the 4 planets that's connected right now to the Libra energy. Which, I mean, when we think about, yes, exactly. So that just that balance, that breathing is, I think, a good word for today. And for the remaining portion of October, breathe. Because a lot of people are holding their breaths. A lot of people are just really tense because of the unknown.
And why this feeling of there is something going on, but you'll be aware of it when you're ready to do it. I love that about the root chakra, breathe, because what Mars is will and action. So since I can't necessarily get rid of my fear, what action can I take to at least observe it, do something with it? Like you said, it's a place to do something.
Exactly. What was that?
I was about to say, even if that means stepping away and doing something in self-care, whatever that means. I love what your program is about, where it's not about, I'm doing this just for my body in isolation. I'm doing this to connect to who I am. If I take care of my body has the wisdom to help me into the next piece. So much more motivating for this one, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, and then it gives us that connection where, again, I mean, when we think about the physical body and everyone out there doing their workouts, if they're not physically connected within, it's like, okay, so what are we doing?
Yeah.
So Kitty, do you have any final words for our viewers today regarding all that is going on until the end of October?
The word that I was just told is pause. When you're feeling it, pause, take the breath, root yourself. When you are rooted, you get information. And know that there's a lot coming at the head right now. You know, we've got change, structure, expansion, and communication. And again, communication is also nonverbal. So take the pause, take the time. You know, it's the 1010 portal. It is that beginning. It is, you know, I learned from, excuse me, I learned from Joanne how on September 30th, we began this synthesis to get ready for 2022. So know that that's part of what's happening, I think, is really important. And make sure you plan some getaways to take care of yourself, you know, because look at the two of us, both of our throats. And you know, here's the other thing they said to me: don't take anything super serious this month. Step back, pause,
Yes.
take that discernment. I can detach, I can surrender to this, because more is coming. So it's going to be synthesized.
Yes. And I also just want to point out, so our viewers understand, when Kitty mentioned about there it was with our throats, you know, Kitty coughed, I coughed. For me, metaphysically speaking, anytime something's going on with our bodies, and the more noticeable one is when we do cough. You know, coughing is a combination of a variety of things happening, where it could be just energy being released. It could be where the throat chakra, because we've been doing a lot of talking about Mercury, and that's throat chakra in itself, where that energy is being activated. So I also would like you to be mindful of paying attention to your body when things are going on, and see if there's a connection with a specific chakra that is associated with whatever's going on at that moment. And that could be really helpful to, again, connect with your body, connect with your mind, be attuned to how everything is connected as it is. So with that being said, Kitty, I would love to give you a card reading. Are you open to one?
I am, and I want to let people know that my dear friend here is going to be on tomorrow on Intuition of the Soul, talking about this same thing. So if you're interested, you can search it on Facebook and come join us, 8 o'clock Eastern Central Time. And so, and it will be also available on YouTube. So hey, under Intuition of the Soul, because she is a master, and I love, you know, it's another whole dimension that we're able to talk. We could do this for hours, actually. So
we sure can, but Bobby will not allow me to be on for hours. He probably would, but yeah, I don't think the network would allow it. But anyway, so Kitty, oops, one of my cards just flew out of the deck. I have to get it, so give me a minute. Entertain them while I get your card.
Well, and since she's got a flyer, we know it's for me because it's a message that just flew out. So
yeah. Yeah. So usually I ask my guests to think about a question that they want guidance on, and then just to repeat their full name 3 times out loud so I can get into their energy. But Kitty and I have that connection. And interesting, what I am going to do is I'm going to read the card that popped out. And what we're going to do here is we're going to do 2 cards. I'm going to use this one that popped, and then I'm going to shuffle the cards again so you can focus in on the question. So the first card is spiritual guidance. And I think we've been talking about that pretty much the entire show. Spiritual guidance, connecting, and using, and I don't want to use the word use, but I'm going to, using Kitty as your spiritual guide, because as she brings energy into her storytelling of astrology, that's going to bring a lot of guidance for you in reference to what you need to know about. We spoke about the heart chakra 1,000 times today regarding new moon energy. So the heart chakra, activate your heart, put your hand literally on your heart center and allow that energy, allow yourself to feel your heartbeat and get connected to it, because you might be feeling something that your inner child needs your attention on. 3 and 4 is 7. So when we think about 7 is about reflecting, about taking the time, as Kitty's word of the day, pause, to pause on what it is that's going on in the world right now. What is going on with you, and how do you reflect the world? And I think that's important too, because we are just a mirror of the world. Every one of us are a mirror of what's going on collectively. So that's that first card. And that was just more like a collective reading, not specifically for Kitty. Now, Kitty, what I'd like you to do, think about a question you would like some guidance on. Do not share it with me, please. Again, Kitty, you know, you're really getting me.
Sorry.
Okay, all right, you know what? We're just gonna go, because now there's 2 cards, okay? And we're just gonna go with this. This is what it's gonna be. Kitty, this is for you. First card is all about financial abundance. Financial abundance is going your way, coming your way rather, but in order for that financial abundance to appear, third eye, you have to start attracting it. You've gotta start seeing it, believing you deserve to have it. Move into that sun energy of the solar plex and trusting your worth of having financial abundance. 1 and 7 is that 8 energy. The 8 is abundance. The 8 is your karmic lessons that you've come here to this lifetime to learn about money, and how money is just energy. And recognizing that the energy work that you do is extremely valuable, and to set your value according to the work you do. Okay, and I get that that resonated with you because your face just lit up like a light bulb. So again, just really focusing on your third eye so you can really start seeing yourself with your hands open and collecting the abundance that you deserve from the work that you do. So that's your first card. Second one is in reverse. Now, when a card shows up in reverse, it's all about paying attention. And there might be a little bit of resistance to the message I'm going to give you. So pay attention. Root chakra. We've been talking about that all day as well. You are the leader. Take ownership of being the leader. Take ownership of being the leader. And if I'm not mistaken, Kitty, I believe we spoke about this at one point or another in your reading.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, I just remembered. I'm like, wait a minute, this showed up in your reading. So yes, and your numbers here are 55. So the 5 is about the changes that you are enduring during this amazing time that we're in. And the 55 is a 10, which is major new beginnings coming in for you, and a lot of choices that you have that you can make. Does this resonate with you?
Oh, yes. And of course, when she did my reading, folks, I gave her 9 reverse cards. I couldn't just do it the regular way. No. So
Of course. Why would we want to do that? Why would we
So
want to do
no,
that?
it does. It really resonates. So thank you so much. I really
Excellent.
appreciate it. Okay.
Excellent. Kitty, let our viewers know how they can reach you, please.
Intuition of the Soul on Facebook. There's a private group and a public group. And if you, or Intuition of the Soul 11@gmail.com. You can reach me.
Awesome. Awesome. And again, Kitty, just let them know how they can connect with you and I for tomorrow's show again.
It's also on Intuition of the Soul. If you search it on the public page, we'll let you in on the private page. I will send Joanne a link, and she can also publicize the link to come on the Zoom. And it's at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Intuition of the Soul, the Facebook group. And it will also be on YouTube. All our speakers are on YouTube. You can watch past things. So.
Excellent, excellent. So yeah, so once Kitty does share that link with me, what I will do, I'll come back to this show and put in the comments. So for everyone who's watching, make it real super easy, because I like easy. All you have to do is click on that, click on the link that's going to be in the comment from the show. And then once we have the show tomorrow and she shares that link with me, I will then go and share that with all of you on my Facebook page as well. So you're not going to miss it. So if for whatever the reasons now, 8 p.m. Eastern time, many, at least at my end of the world, will be home, not at work, but everybody else all over the world might still be working. So you won't miss it, because it's going to be everywhere and anywhere. So Kitty, it was so much fun having you.
It was
here,
fun.
and
I look forward to tomorrow night too. So thank you.
yes, and just being in your energy is just really amazing. So thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Joanne. All right.
And I appreciate all of our viewers, those who are watching, those who are listening. And again, I will see you back here the first Wednesday in November, but I'll see you on Sunday for my other show. So stay tuned. Have a great day. Enjoy this energy. And remember, as Kitty says, pause. No need to leap into anything just yet. Just pause, take it slow, breathe, and you'll be fine. And you'll be amazed at what all of this energy is actually going to help you become. So bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.